Dan Cohen, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Good to be with you, Kim.
So, you've been on the ground covering Haiti. You even did a documentary about Jimmy Barbecue. Just what is your overall impression right now of people, of the narrative that's going around about him? Is it true? Is he eating people? Is he a cannibal?
Yeah, there's a huge propaganda push. I would say, a parallel to the 40 beheaded babies deception that we saw at the beginning of this Gaza genocide, in order, of course, to justify it. And now we're seeing the claims that Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier is a cannibal and eats people. And there was a video that went viral, pushed by this guy, Dom Lucre. I don't know how you say his name exactly, but this like viral sort of like pro Trump account, um, that is of indeed somebody cannibalizing their victim in Haiti, but it's from 2021. It's an old video and it's from a completely different part of the country. So, and the irony is that Jimmy Cherizier is like the anti-crime guy. So he's against horrible things like that, killing innocent people, not only, but this whole idea that cannibalism is rampant, um, is so far from reality. I mean, that was a really shocking video for basically all Haitians, and the whole point of it, that video of a guy eating a dead body, someone that he had murdered and burned, was to shock and terrorize, and that's exactly what Cherizier is fighting against.
Do we know who that guy was that was eating the person?
Yeah, that was in the Artibonite Valley, which was the breadbasket of Haiti until the Clintons came along. It's kind of in the central region, of the country, and it was like I'd have to like do look exactly what the research is, but um, like some kind of obscure gang member, that in a battle with another one did that to shock people.
Well, it was certainly shocking. I literally was nauseous when I watched that. It made me kind of sick to my stomach. Just ugh. So, but that's not Jimmy Barbecue, and it doesn't even look like him.
Right, exactly. That guy, like most Haitians, is like pretty skinny, and does not look like him at all. And Jimmy Barbecue is, he's got a hefty belly on him, and
Right.
he's got a more kind of round head. It does not look like him at all. But I mean, that claim has been all over. Elon Musk is promoting it. Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, is quoting it and saying, "See, we can go and clean up the gang situation in Haiti." So it's a really kind of dangerous moment.
What is it that Jimmy Barbecue? For first of all, why does he have that nickname then, if it isn't for barbecuing people and eating them, which is what the implication is right now? So, why does he have that nickname?
Yeah, so that claim originated in a Vice news piece. Vice, which we is basically did like CIA propaganda on Haiti, collaborated with an NED funded so-called human rights group called the RNDDH that has a very, very notorious history of basically supporting coup d'etats and pumping out terrible disinformation in Haiti. And so that was in this Vice piece, and they said it's because he likes to burn people alive. But the reality is, when he was a kid in the streets of Port-au-Prince, there were a bunch of other Jimmys, and his mother sold grilled meats on the street, so he became Jimmy Barbecue.
Oh, so it was just a nickname from childhood, just because that's what his
Exactly.
parents did. Kind
Yeah.
of like if you're a baker in your with your last name, right? And
Right.
it's because that
Right.
was your family trade. Okay, so
Right.
that's why he's Jimmy Barbecue. So, in your getting to know him, have you talked to him recently? So, when did you do the documentary?
So right after the president of Haiti was assassinated in July 2021, I reached out to Kim Ives, your almost namesake, and
Right.
um who's a longtime Haiti reporter. I mean, he's the English language editor for Haiti Liberté, which is the largest weekly newspaper in Haiti. He's based in Brooklyn. So I immediately contacted him, who I'd known, and he told me, this guy, this is about really about stomping out this revolutionary movement that's emerging from the slums. I was like, Kim, can we go down there? Can I meet this guy, Barbecue? So we went down there shortly after in July 2021, made another trip a few months later, and then we released the documentary in November 2022, right as we went down there to film another piece which I did for Redacted. And then I was there again in August of 2023. And then I was just in Haiti again interviewing Barbecue for another piece we're working on right before all this stuff kicked off. About 3 weeks ago, I was
Oh,
there.
wow. Wow, yeah, and this all started about a week and a half ago. At the February 29th is when the reports are. So I just want to go over this timeline a little bit, and maybe you could kind of clarify. But they're saying that on February 29th, Haitian gangs carried out a series of coordinated attacks across Haiti's capital, killing at least 4 police officers. And they're saying that it was Jimmy Cherizier. How do you say his last name? Cherizier?
Yeah,
Uh,
Sherry ZA.
Sherry
hmm
ZA, so Jimmy Barbecue, claims responsibility for the attack. So why did he go and attack? So you've got the Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, who's out of the country. He ran off to Kenya, right? He was there asking for, I guess, like 1,000 cops to come to Haiti and to try to keep peace and order to some that's what
Right, that's
the
what they
right.
say.
So he was gone. So then Barbecue decides to wage war against the prime minister.
Yeah, so let me try to set it up so people understand the kind of background to the moment.
Sure.
So we show in the documentary Barbecue's whole program for a revolution is to basically unite the different armed groups that are in various neighborhoods. You have like basically slums of Haiti where people who are totally kind of excluded from, they're not allowed to have a decent life. The only thing they can do is, sell their wares on the street in informal markets. Maybe they can work in factories, to make baseballs and these kinds of things for $5 a day. That's like life for Haitians in the slums in general, for the vast
Hmm.
majority of the population in Port-au-Prince.
Hmm.
And so they live in total insecurity, poverty. They can't eat, they can't drink, et cetera, et cetera. Barbecue. So, in the absence of the state, where the state has basically been decapitated by the US, not once, not twice, through coups d'etats against President Jean Bertrand Aristide in 1991, and then again in 2004. Then the president was assassinated, of course, in 2021. So the state has not only been decapitated, it's just it doesn't serve anyone. There's no decent economy. So where there's an absence of the state, you have essentially strong men that arise in different neighborhoods who have
Right.
weapons. Some of them get into criminal activity. Some of them defend their neighborhoods from criminal activity. Jimmy Cherizier, he was one who defended his neighborhood from criminal activity. One of the ways you can do that and have a decent career is to be a cop. So he, did very well. He became a cop, was well respected, led a lot of really tough missions against gangs. He basically got burned by the government for political reasons. They needed a fall guy for this operation gone wrong. So they say that he committed this massacre, which, as we show in the documentary, was not a massacre at all. And so he basically says, I'm not going to go to work anymore. I'm not going to be a cop anymore. And they fired him. So he basically decides, I can't work within the system. We need to have a revolution so all the people of Haiti can survive, can live, have a decent life. So his whole idea is to unite the different armed groups to get to first he forms what's called the G9, Family and Allies, like an alliance of anti-crime armed groups, and that united several of the groups, several of the neighborhoods, and they fought against the criminal groups. But at the same time as fighting against them, he was saying, guys, let's not fight against each other. We all live in the slums. We're all from the same class. Let's unite and have a revolution against the elites who keep us in this situation, who give us guns and ammo to kill each other, and basically make enormous profits to take out of the country and go have a nice house in the US or in France or Canada. Let's
Hmm.
have a revolution and have a decent country. And so all along, he's been trying to do that. Now, the US identified him basically as a threat very early on, before myself or Haiti Liberté identified him as having revolutionary potential. The State Department did. So they started pumping out these basically phony reports through their favorite so-called human rights group in Haiti, which is called the RNDDH and has a very nasty history of disinformation on behalf of the coup regime in 2004, for example.
Mhm.
Um, so they accuse him of all these massacres in an effort to pave the way for an armed intervention targeting Cherizier. Now, Ariel Henry formally requests this intervention. Ariel Henry, who was appointed by the U.S. as prime minister after the assassination of the president, and Ariel Henry is also a top suspect in the assassination of the president. So that's the guy who the U.S. has supported, and the U.S. tells Ariel Henry, order the intervention, formally request the intervention. But Ariel Henry doesn't have any mandate. He was never elected. So how can he even do that? So he requests the intervention. The U.S. has been going around for years trying to cobble together some kind of international force to basically give it a multilateral appearance, that this is not a U.S. operation. This isn't guided and cooked up and funded by the U.S. This is, a coalition of the willing, going to stamp out the gangs. And the U.S. really struggled for a couple of years to find someone. Finally, they landed on the Kenyans, along with something like a $500 million bribe, is what I've been told by a good source, to the Kenyans, which are in huge debt and have all kinds of economic problems themselves, because they're also a total tool of the U.S. in Africa. So finally, Ariel Henry, the de facto prime minister, never elected, goes to Kenya to sign basically an agreement to have these troops come. Now, this past summer in August 2023, and this is what we're going to show in the new piece coming out, Cherizier finally succeeded, at least in part, in having some kind of accord with the different armed groups. And they call it vivre ensemble, which is living together in Creole. And the idea is, let's stop fighting, let's put our heads together, and let's have a revolution. At least stop fighting. Okay, so they do that. It kind of, it works for a while. There's, people are really happy. They start returning to their neighborhoods, where there was a lot of fighting before, and they couldn't even survive. These areas were like dead zones. And we were there last summer. We started to document that, seeing these signs of life appear, and people were saying, "This is great. We're so finally these guys have stopped fighting." And it's
Mhm.
literally like one neighborhood to the next. One across the street is the division. I mean, it's very, very close. So as the people, the masses, are unifying and they have weapons, Ariel Henry is racing, and the U.S. are like racing to get this intervention in. So when Ariel Henry went to Kenya to sign this agreement to get the Kenyans, not only the Kenyans, but also like 1,000 cops from Ghana, for a few from the Bahamas, a number of countries, but
Mhm.
Kenya providing most of them, that when Ariel Henry left, that is when this Vivre Ensemble coalition, including the criminal groups and the anti-crime groups, they went to the airport and basically shut it down. And they also attacked police stations. So what they're doing is try to attack the infrastructure of the state. So first of all, Ariel Henry cannot get back in the country. This U.S. puppet has to stay out, which is what like everybody wants. Basically, no Haitians whatsoever want him. And um, and then they begin what is a revolutionary process. The one more thing I'll add, the the rub basically is, well, Cherizier is now allied with guys who are hardened criminals. Who, I mean, they also liberated a prison, and there are some hardened criminals in there for sure. There are many who are not. There are many innocent people who are locked up for nothing in Haiti. Um, but how do you ally with people who kidnapped, people who murdered, this kind of thing? And basically, as I see it, the U.S. is gunning for Cherizier. He does not have a choice, and he has publicly said this, that I had to ally with a smaller devil in order to fight off a larger devil, this foreign invasion orchestrated by the US.
Mhm.
And so far, he's succeeded in doing that. And for now, at least, there's peace between the neighborhoods as this kind of revolutionary movement forms. And if they succeed, there's no doubt that the knives will come out between the different groups, and who will vie for power. But at this point, Jimmy Cherizier's stock is rising in a big way. He is the clear leader of this whole movement. He's the spokesperson. He's the one that all the media goes to.
Hey guys, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you like this segment. Now, you might be wondering, this seems like it's part of a bigger show. You're right, it is. The full show is at KimIversonShow.com. So what you're watching is just a clip. And if you want to get the full experience, then you got to go to KimIversonShow.com. The show airs Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. That is where you can watch the full show. Here, you just get clips. So click on the link down below, go to the full show, enjoy. Otherwise, I'll see you next time right here. And be sure, once again, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.